Morning children, today we are going to discuss a new topic, right? So to know about that new topic, first we have to recapture our knowledge what we discussed in structure of atom as well as classification of elements. So we discussed few informations or few points from classification of elements. Almost we have 115 means 115 number of elements. Then in that elements, that whatever the elements are there, that all are existed in the form of atoms, or is there any chance to exist in different forms. So for example, in that we have to take few examples. Whatever you observe in our general condition, like oxygen, we can write as O2. Oxygen, the form we can write as O2. For nitrogen, we can able to write as N2. As well as if you write as carbon dioxide, we can have the formula as CO2. Like that, if take the water that you have hydrogen monoxide like this, H2O, right? In the same way, if you take few more, if you take iron, ferrum, what we have, Fe, and for copper, Cu, for silver, Ag, and for gold, Rm, A. Then why few elements are having the combination form? Here we written as O2, that indicates oxygen in two number of atoms. Means two atoms are combined oxygen atoms, then can able to form the O2 element. Then N2. Here one carbon is there, one oxygen is there. Then if you take examples in below one, all should be present with only single, right? Then why it is appeared in single means individual, right? Then how it appears in the form of combined one, right? Then what's the reason? And one more, if you take example this, then here we call as oxygen. Then can we have any chance to write the oxygen formula in the form of O5 or O4 or O3? Like that we can able to write. Why only two atoms can be combined? If you take same way carbon dioxide, we have formula CO2. Why not can we write as C2O? Same way, if you take H2O, why we have to write what formula as H2O? Why not HO2 or H3O or HO3, like that? Why not it's possible? For that we have to discuss the information in this lesson. So from this we can able to notice that simply two atoms are able to came into close, or two atoms are approaches close. So came means approaching. Then due to approaching, due to coming into close, what happens? It got the attraction. So what are the attraction is there between the two atoms, right? That we called as chemical bonding. Which bonding? Chemical bonding. So our chapter name or our lesson name is chemical bonding. So in that we have to discuss what type of the bonds are there and why bonds are forming. That will be discussed in the entire chemical bonding chapter. So in addition about chemical bonding, we have few information or basic information, that is in the 19th century, means from 1801 onwards. So already previously we have different knowledge about the forces, right? Like magnetic force, right? Whatever the history, whatever the story we got, in the place of magnesia, we got attraction of different metals, right? For that, they simply named as magnet. From that, we can able to get the magnetic force, and later Newton is found gravitational force. And in the entering of or in the starting days of 19th century, scientists are invented about electrostatic force, especially after the invention of electron and proton. Then already we are familiar in the atom we have the existence of electron, proton, neutron, and here already discussed when two atoms are approaches together or came to close, they can able to show the attraction. So where the attraction is present? Attraction is present between nucleus as well as electrons. But here electrons are not their own. Here nucleus of one atom is able to attract the electrons of another atom. In the same way, here nucleus to electron we have the attraction force. In the same way here, two nucleuses or two electrons are able to show repulsion. So between the nucleus and opposite atoms electron we have the attraction, and between the electrons and electrons of two atoms and nucleus of two atoms is able to show the repulsion. Then at what distance if atoms are present we can able to see the attraction, or at what distance we can able to see the repulsion. Then to form the chemical bonding, the attraction force must be more or repulsion is must be more, which is present. So obviously we can able to give the answer as attraction must be more than repulsion. Then at what distance attraction value is more than repulsion. So these all conditions can be considered the factors to form the chemical bonding. But the major reason is whatever the opposite charges are there to the electron as well as nucleus, they can able to show the attraction more than the value of repulsion. Then that is causing for what? Chemical bonding. So to know this concept, in earlier days one scientist is his effort to discover about chemical bonding. For that we have to take information the scientist who did his first effort, right? The effort from the scientist is Humphrey Davy, right? He designed or he built up a battery with 250 metal plates. So already we are familiar from previous classes like 7th and 8th classes. So we have to design the battery. First we have to require one electrolyte, right? So electrolyte is simply a chemical substance. In that we can able to take the different types of metal rods, right? So from our knowledge what we have in 8th class, so here I taken one battery, right? So this is for your clarity, right? Already we discussed something about how we can able to get the electroplating. From that I am able to explain about how we can able to get the chemical bonding, right? Here I am not discussing about any particular battery design. Then coming to electrolysis process that we consider as the electroplating. First we have to take the battery and that we have to connect it to the switch, and that should be connected to the our respect metal plates or metals which are immersed in the electrolyte in the particular container or bowl. Then here whatever the long terminal is there to the battery that we call as anode, which carrying of plus charge or positive charge, and whatever the short terminal is there that we carried as negative charge, for that we call as negative terminal, name is cathode. Then the two are connected to their respective metal plates. In that we have to fill it with electrolyte. Then electrolyte is the solution or not? Then in that solution we can able to see metal and non-metal. Two particles are there. Then whatever the metal particles are there, they are ready to approach, they are ready to move towards the cathode direction. Why the metals are moving or why the metals are approaching towards the cathode direction? Because metals are always able to carry positive charge. Their nature is ready to lose the electrons. Whereas come to non-metals, they can able to approach to the anode side. Anode means positive terminal. Then why that able to approach the anode direction? Because non-metals are always their nature is able to receive or able to gain the electrons. For that they are having negative charge. Due to that charged nature, they are able to move in opposite direction. So from this we can able to understood chemical bonding is always depending on charges, right? So this is one factor. This was initially observed by Hampden. Not exactly like this. He designed with 250 plates in the same way. What we discussed now, right? Then we have to take the explanation about the real concept of chemical bonding, right? Discussion of chemical bonding. First, we have to take atom in that nucleus is present. Then I taken two atoms which are present with a different number of electrons. Right? These two you consider as the shells and with a different number of electrons. Right? Then when these two atoms are approaches, right? Then here first, what are the outermost orbit electrons are there? First, they are going to attach like this. Right? So, for that, in approaching of atoms, first outermost shell electrons are able to approach closely. Right? Then, for that, every chemical bonding is depending only valency electrons participation. If you know the valency electrons, then we are easy to understand the chemical bonding, because in formation of chemical bonding we have the important thing is only valency electrons. Then here in chemical bonding explanation, the first effort done by Lewis. So this was clearly observed by Lewis, right? He designed how to identify the valency electrons. For that, so we have the knowledge from structure of atom. If you take a atom like a hydrogen, right? So it is having symbol as H and configuration is 1s1, right? Then if you take this one as nucleus of this particular hydrogen, and this is the first shell or shell, in that how many electrons are there? One electron is there. So this one electron, whatever the single electron is there, that should be considered as valency shell electron. Means how many valency shell electrons are there? Only one electron is the valency shell, because we are not having any more shells and we are not having any more electrons. In the same way, if you take nitrogen, right? So symbol is N and configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Right? Here already we have a knowledge. This is K shell and this is L shell. Right? Here K shell we have 2 electrons and in L shell we have 5 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So here valence electrons are 5. Right? And in that 2s2 is pair of electrons. For that we have to write like this. This is pair of electrons. These three are unpaired because one is X, another one is Y, another one is Z, according to what we discussed in the structure of atom. So these are unpaired electrons. So he is the first person who noticed about valence electrons with pairs and unpairs. For that, this method, right? What are the introduction about valence electrons or valence shell electrons, and showing about only valence electrons with pair and unpaired. So this method or this particular process he named as Lewis dot structure. So here dot structure is saying about only valence electrons. And valence electrons are again two types. One is pair of electrons, another one is unpair of electrons. So here we have pair and unpair. So by this he can able to give the information how a chemical bond is formed between two atoms. Right? Here we are going to take one more example, then how to identify about pair and unpaired electrons in the form of valency electrons. Shall we take? What are the Lewis observation is there. He came with a name of theory like this, electronic theory of valence. Then what he observed in this? Simply in dot structure, whatever we discussed about hydrogen and nitrogen, then if you take helium, he observed the configuration as 1s2 and he noticed that here it is having 2 electrons in the first shell and that he noticed like the pair of. Then if you take neon, the configuration is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6. This is K shell, this is L shell, and here neon is able to show the electrons as like this, because already we have this is K shell means inner one, which is near to the or which is first shell to the atom, right, and that is nearby to the nucleus, and this is the second shell, right, in the atom of neon and having 8 electrons. Moreover, these two atoms, not only these two, and further is argon, right, krypton, xenon, radon, that all should be shows 8 electrons, 8 electrons except helium. Then which are the elements are having 8 number of in the outermost? They are chemically inactive. Chemically inactive. Inactive means they are not interested to form the chemical bond. But rest of which are having less than 8 or more than 8, they are chemically active. So for example, if you take sodium, right, here 1s2, 2s2, 2p6 and 3s1. So this is K shell, this is L shell and this is M shell. For this we can able to write as like this. Sodium, outermost shell is only having 1 electron. This is chemically active, but these two are chemically inactive. From that, which atoms are having outermost electrons as 8, they are chemically inactive. Which are the atoms or which are the elements having outermost electrons is less than 8 or more than 8, they are chemically active. So here I am writing sodium is chemically active, right? So this observation is leading to in the designing of electronic theory of valency, right? So in that we have to take the explanation which are able to have less than 8 number of electrons and which are having more than 8 number of, right, or which are able to receive the electrons or which are able to lose the electrons to get the 8 number of electrons in the outermost shell, right? Once we have to take the examples to know about electron theory of valence, it is basically proposed by Lewis with the help of one more scientist is Coser. Then what information they inspect in the designing of theory of or electronic theory of valence? For that, if you have the knowledge, right, what we discussed in the classification of elements, if you take first year group elements, they are having like lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium, francium. So their outermost shell configuration simply be called as NS1, right? Here if you take sodium, it is having configuration as 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. This is K shell, this is L shell, this is M shell. In K shell we have 2 electrons. In L shell we have 8 electrons, in M shell we have only single electron, right? Our concept is what? Which are having 8 electrons in the outermost shell, right? They are chemically inactive. But here outermost shell existed with 1 electron only. For that, this particular group of elements ready to lose 1 electron. For that, they are able to get when electron is loosed by this particular one, right? So this one able to get the charge as Na plus. For that, this first group element able to show charge or valence as +1, means they are ready to lose. In the same way, if you took the example from second year group like beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium, right? their configuration is generally NS2. I taken the example as magnesium. For that we can able to write 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2. Here K shell with 2 electrons, L shell with 8 electrons, C, 2s2, 2p6. Then M shell with only 2 electrons. For that, this particular magnesium and the group of that particular elements are able to show generally NS2, right? Then here 3s2 is present. Again, it required 6 more electrons to get the stability because 8 electrons should be inactive. So instead of gaining 6 electrons, it is ready to lose 2 electrons. So 2 electrons is lost. Then ultimately magnesium able to show +2. Means their valency is simply +2. Beryllium +2, magnesium +2, calcium +2, strontium, barium, radium all should be shows +2 because when they lost the 2 electrons, they ultimately get 8 electrons in the outermost shell, right? Then, if you look into one more example, that is third A group, right? Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Their general configuration already we seen NS2, NP1, right? Then these fellows, if I take the configuration of aluminium, okay, here I am taking both. For boron, simply 1s2, 2s2, 2p1. For aluminium, 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1. Here, if you look into that, 2k, here aluminium, 8l, and here aluminium 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p1, right? So here M shell is existed with 3 electrons. In the same way, if you look into that, here L shell is existed with 3 electrons, right? So their outermost electrons is existed with 3 electrons. For that, what we require? Either they have to gain 5 electrons or they are ready to lose the 3 electrons. So here, if you take the example of aluminium, instead of gaining 5 electrons, it is ready to lose the 3 electrons. For that, 3 electrons should be lost by aluminium. For that, it can able to show +3. So, this is the nature of first A, second A, third A group which ready to lose the electrons. Based on that, it can able to get the 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So that we called as octet rule. That we are going to explain. So have you got the clarity? Once you check the again all configurations, here 8 electrons is present when it lose the 1 electron. Here 8 electrons are present when it lose the 2 electrons. Here 8 electrons are present when it lose the 3 electrons. So first A, second A, third A. So all 3 groups are able to having the nature as losing of electrons. Right? How to discuss with the 50A group elements. If you take the 50A group elements, already we are familiar, right? So that is nitrogen, phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth, right? Their configuration already we discussed in what we call in classification of elements. The configuration is NS2NP3, what we discussed in the past, right? So here I am taking nitrogen. For that we can able to write 1s2, 2s2, 2p3, right? If you inspect here, first shell with 2 electrons, here second shell is existed with 5 electrons, right? So to get the stability, it ready to receive the 8 electrons, right? For that, here how many are there? 5 are there. To get the 8 or to obtain the 8 electrons, it ready to receive 3 electrons from another atom, especially what we seen in the just before from third A group, from boron family, it ready to receive the electron, right? For that, this one we call as gaining of electrons, right? So fifth group elements is ready to gain 3 electrons to get the 8 electrons in the outermost shell. So 3 plus 5 plus 3 is 8 electrons or not? In the same way, if you look into 60A group, already we are familiar, oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium and labradonium. Right? In that, if you inspect the general configuration, that is NH2, NP4. So I am taking the help of example oxygen. For that, we can able to write 1s2, 2s2, 2p4. Then 1s2 means 2k. Then here 2s2, 2p4 means simply we can able to write 6l. Then to get 8 electrons, still how many are required? 2 are required. Then 2 electrons ready to receive from another group of elements. Then ultimately what you will get? 8 electrons will present up. Right? So same way we have 7J group elements. Already their configuration we are perfect. NH2, NP5. For that group of elements is fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, aztec. Right? Then I am taking an example of chlorine. For that 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Then if you check, this is 2k, this is 8l, this is 7m. So here to get the 8 electrons in the outermost shell, still one more electron is required. For that, they are ready to receive one electron from first A group or any other group. Right? So again, if they receive one electron, ultimately how many electrons are present? 8 electrons are present. For that, here 50A, 60A and 70A, that group of elements is having the nature as ready to receive the electrons. For that, here 50A, 60A and 70A group of elements we simply called electron gain nature groups or electron gaining nature elements. Right? By that, they are able to get 8 electrons. Then why we discuss only this? So, in the time of explanation about Lewis theory, we discussed when an atom is existed with 8 electrons in the outermost shell, they are chemically inactive. Remaining all should be active. So, here we got a clarity or not? Right? Then, already we are familiar, always 8 electrons is present only to the noble gases. Right? So, what are noble gases? Already we are familiar, helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So these elements are able to show no reactions in the chemistry because their outermost shell existed with 8 electrons except neon because the neon configuration is only 1s2. It never able to gain the 6 more electrons. For that, it is also able to show noble nature or inert nature because that should be able to show stability even though which is having 2 electrons in its shell. Okay? We have to give the statement of octet rule. So, what is octet rule means? Already seen with examples. Just we have to take the statement of octet rule here. Right? The atoms of elements tend to undergo chemical changes that help to leave their atoms with 8 outermost electrons. Already we are familiar. If 8 electrons are present in the outermost shell, they are able to get the stability. For that only, atoms are always is going to get a chemical reactions or chemical bond formation. Right? So same thing, Mr. Lewis and Quotient also practically proved. Right? So all atoms which are having either less than 8 electrons or if they have more than 8 electrons, they are always looking to get 8 electrons to attempt in outermost shell. Then only they are, should be stable. So that is the statement meaning of chemical bonding formation with the octet rule. And moreover, here we have the definition about chemical bond also. Simply, whatever the force of attraction is there, either two atoms or a group of atoms which can able to give a stability. So that particular force of attraction we call the chemical bond. So it is possible either between two atoms or else a group of atoms. For that we have to take example. If you take oxygen, we simply call it O2. For that we have bonds like this. That will be discussed in further classes. Then, if you take one more example, H2O, already we discussed. Here, not two atoms are there, here two hydrogens, one oxygen is there. For that, it is having structure like this. Right? So, here, three atoms are there. For that, this one we call as group of atoms. But here we have only two oxygens. Right? Means two atoms. Have you got a clarity? Chemical bonding, we have to take how the bond is formed. So it is having a particular process, right? So this chemical bonding information from Kosel and Lewis. So two persons are able to show their own explanation. So here Kosel explained the chemical bonding in the form of ionic bonds, as well as Lewis explained his chemical bonding with the covalent bond. So what is meant by ionic bond and what is meant by covalent bond? That we have to discuss right now. So coming to ionic bond, it is proposed by Kosel, right? So what his postulates about the formation of ionic bond? So in the first thing, the ionic bond is formed between dissimilar atoms, means it is not similar. For example, if you take oxygen and nitrogen, oxygen is different, nitrogen is different. Like that, we have to take two different atoms. So for that we call as dissimilar atoms between ionic bond is formed. Then second thing, how the bond is formed? For that, transfer of electron, means simply electron is moving from one atom to another atom, completely shifting, right? For that we call as transfer of electrons from one atom to another atom. It causing for ionic bond. Then third thing, this particular ionic bond is basically formed between metals and non-metals atoms. One is metal atom, another one is non-metal atom. For that examples also, first year groups are completely metallic nature and seventh year group are completely non-metallic nature. Already we seen in the periodic table. When you are moving from left to right, left side first group is highly metallic nature. And as you go on to the right side, the dead end or last element in the seventh year group, that is completely non-metal. Both are highly active, right? Then here, if you take metal atom, they are ready to lose the electron. When electron lose, right, or when electron is lost by atom, it is ultimately able to get a positive charge. So what are the positive charge species is there, right, that we call as cation. So that is carrying of plus charge. For that, here we have to take one example. So here sodium is metal, the configuration is 2K, 8L, 1M, right? As like based in 9th class standard knowledge. Then on removing of one electron, it will get outermost shell with 8 electrons. Then what happened? Here it is able to get a plus charge. For that, this is the best example for how metal is able to convert like a cation. Then, if you take non-metal atom, they are ready to gain the electron. Then ultimately, any atom which is with a negative species or negative charge species, that we call as anion, right? Then for that here example chlorine, the configuration is 2K, 8L, 7. It ready to gain the electron. Then ultimately it will get the 2K, 8L, 8L. Then on receiving of electron it will get minus charge. Then whatever the opposite charge species is there of atoms, they are ready to show the attraction. So due to that attraction, that too one electron is shifted from one atom to another atom, the ionic bond is formed. So this is the explanation of Kosel, how ionic bond is formed. Moreover, whatever the metal and non-metal atoms are there or dissimilar atoms are there, they are having one more condition. The condition is, so here transfer of electron is possible between the dissimilar atoms when they are having electronegativity differences. Electronegativity difference means electronegativity value, how much difference must be present. For that should be more than 1.9 value. Means electronegativity value must be more than, the difference value is more than 1.9. Then only between dissimilar atoms ionic bond is formed. Otherwise, it may not be considered as ionic bond. Moreover, this particular ionic bond we are also called as electrostatic bond, because that whatever the charges is there, it will be getting neutral, that too between the opposite charged species. So here plus charge is there, here minus charge is there, right? For that we also called as ionic bond as electrostatic bond. For that we are going to take few examples to get a clarity. So here we are taking the example of formation of sodium chloride, right? In chemical bonding, that too ionic bond formation. For that, we have to take sodium. The configuration is 2K8L1M. It is also we simply called as 2,8,1, right? Then on removing of one electron or on lossing of one electron, it will become 2,8. Then positive charge is present. In same way, here chlorine, it is having configuration 2, 8, 7. Then on gaining of electron, it will become minus, means Cl minus. For that configuration 2, 8, 8. Then due to opposite charges, they are having more or stronger attraction force. Because already we are familiar, unlike poles are attract, in the same way, unlike charges also attract. For that, on attraction of positive charge and negative charge, then it ultimately Na plus Cl minus, that ultimately form NaCl. So this is the formation of sodium chloride. It is also known as common salt, right? So this is the way of arrangement or way of explanation how a ionic bond is formed. Then we have to take one more explanation, that is the formation of magnesium chloride. So simply take magnesium and write the configuration 2, 8, 2. Then magnesium is metal or not? Then it ultimately lose 2 electrons because it requires 8 electrons. See, on removing of 2 electrons, it can get 2, 8. Then here chlorine having same configuration 2, 8, 7. It ready to receive electron. But here how many electrons are required? 1 electron is required. Here how many electrons are lost? 2 electrons are lost. For that, here we require 2 chlorines. For that, we can able to get 2 chlorides. Then ultimately, here magnesium plus 2 plus 2 Cl minus, means 2 chlorine is able to attach to the magnesium. For that, it can able to form magnesium chloride. Right? In the same way, we can able to write how the molecule is formed. Sodium oxide, Na2O, right? 2 sodiums with 1 oxygen, right? Same way, aluminium chloride, AlCl3, 1 aluminium with 3 chlorides. So easy once you have a clarity about that particular writing of configuration. How many electrons are there in each shell, right? Take the arrangement of ions in ionic bond formation or ionic compounds. For that, first we have to take two things as a basic information. That is, already we are familiar what are the charges are there to the particular atoms or charged species. So for that they are having attraction force. So that attraction force is directionless. See, electrostatic forces are directionless because in which direction the atom can attract the opposite atom, we can't be identify the direction. For that we call non-directional or directionless. Moreover, what are the compounds are existed with the opposite ions or ionic bond existence that we existed generally in crystalline existence or crystal form. Especially if you take salt, any type of salt, that should be existed with the crystal form because they are having strong attraction forces. For that, the nature of compound should be existed in crystal. Here, how we take in the arrangement? For that, if you take sodium chloride, here sodium having positive charge, chlorine is having negative charge. Then we are familiar, the crystal form of substance, anything is having either cuboid nature or cube nature. Cuboid means already you are familiar, cube means all sides should be equal, right? Then due to that three-dimensional shape, so three-dimensional because already we discussed about cube or cuboid. For that, we can able to see three-dimensional. Means three dimensions are present. So x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Then, moreover, their opposite sides also present. For that, each ion is having attraction force in 6 ways like this. X, Y, Z. Just you have to consider because the crystals are existed in three-dimensional like cube or cuboid. Then here sodium is attract 6 chlorines, right? And here chlorine is attract 6 sodiums. Due to that, right? Due to that, because they are having three-dimensional nature or not. So this is you consider as front, this is back. This is simply you consider as right, this is left, this is up, this is down. Total 6 directions are there or not. Then whatever the sodium atom is there, it can attract the opposite charged atoms with 6 number of. For that, here sodium is coordinating. What we call coordinating number is 6. So same thing here, chlorine also able to attract 6 sodiums in three-dimensional as like sodium, right? Front and back, right and left, up and down, right? So here chlorine number also, chlorine coordination number also 6, right? So they are existent in crystal form, moreover they are having coordination number. Then this particular Na plus is cation or not? Then here Cl minus is what? Anion. Then what factors can affect a atom is become cation and what factors can affect an anion is formed? That we have to take a look how cations and anions are formed, what their respective factors which can able to affect, right? The factors of these can affect the formation of cation and anion. For that, the first factor is atomic size, followed by ionization potential. It is also known as potential energy or ionization energy. Third one is electron affinity, and fourth one is electron affinity, electronegativity. These are all factors we discussed in classification of elements. So these 4 factors, how the values for formation of cation. So for formation of cation is atomic size must be high, means much be bigger size, and ionization energy is low. Electron affinity value also low, and electronegativity value also low. These all should be having lowest values and having the size of atom is biggest one. Then ultimately the possibility to get a cation. If you take the example for anion, atomic size should be low, ionization potential or ionization energy, electron affinity and electronegativity. These all 3 values should be high. Then ultimately the possibility of atom is as a anion. So these factors can decide which are cation possibilities and which are anion possibilities. There are attraction of this Na plus and Cl minus. It is existed in crystal form or not? Then what type of nature it is? The NaCl crystalline nature is face-centered cubic lattice crystal. Already we are familiar, face-centered cube. So you will get that is in maths, right? So that is having face-centered simply like this, right? So this is face-centered, right? Have you got a clarity about the formation of ionic bond and their respective points? Bonding, we have one more type of bond, that is covalent bond. Already we discussed. Here covalent bond is introduced by G. N. Lewis or Lewis, right, who given dot structure to the atoms or elements, right. Then he given the postulates of covalent bond, right. The first thing is the covalent bond is formed between similar or dissimilar atoms. So it is possible for 2 types of atoms, Similar atoms are able to form the covalent bond, and dissimilar atoms also able to form the covalent bond. How it is formed? Simply, the covalent bond is formed sharing of electrons between the atoms. So each atom able to share one electron each other, right? So that is mutual share. So each able to contribute one electron. Then if you take similar atoms are combined, for that examples O2 oxygen, N2 nitrogen, F2 fluorine, but not fun and frustration, and here Cl2 chlorine, right? Then if you take about dissimilar atoms that having the examples as H2O water, NH3 ammonia, CH4 methane, right? So these are the informations or postulates is given by G. N. Davis about formation of covalent bond. One more, here we have to take the information about O2, how it is formed. So already we are familiar, oxygen is having the configuration as 2, 6, right? So simply 2K and 8L what we written. So here that does not. Then it can able to represent like this. In the 2 are paired electrons. So pair of electrons. 2 are unpaired of electrons. Right? So total number of electrons are 6. Right? So this particular showing structure we call as a cornel. Means here symbol includes inner electrons. This dot represents only the outermost electrons. Here in the formation of oxygen atom, right, we require 2 oxygens. Means 2 oxygens are present like this. So, right? So same thing for one more oxygen. Then these two are able to share the electrons, and these two are also able to share the electrons. For that, bond is formed like this. Right? So this is the formation of oxygen element, the two combining of 2 oxygen atoms. In same way, if you take example about methane, right? So here we have configuration for carbon is 2, 4, right? Here carbon is able to show 4 are unpaired electrons. It neither lost the electrons nor gain the electrons, right? For that it can able to share the electrons like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then hydrogen is there. Already we are familiar. Only single electron is present. For that it can able to present like this, right? So here electrons are shown with the 2 different structure. One is a dot one, another one is cross one, because easy to identify which electron is belongs to particular atom. Then on combination here we require 4 hydrogens, right? For that this is the method, 4 unpaired electrons, and each contributed by electron a particular hydrogen, right? Then it is ultimately able to form 4 bonds, right? Then ultimately what happened? It can able to form the methane is like this. So this method is explained by G. N. Davis in the formation of covalent bond. Have you got a clarity?